Hi and welcome, it's Gene from the maverickstar Observatory. Guys, I wish I had a positive tone to work on, but it simply isn't the case. And I think it's easier just to come clean and tell people how it is, really. The coronavirus, as you can imagine, affected everything across every range, and equally it has affected our observatory as well. Making people shy in coming forward and making those contributions that are massively needed. Just to put it into perspective, we've got over 30,000 subscribers, and in a wonderful world, if everybody just put one single pound or $1 in, we wouldn't have a problem. But the problem is that they are leaving it down to just probably a few people who could count on two hands. And I massively applaud those few people, and they know who they are. I mention them regularly, and I don't need to mention them in this video because they really know who they are. The problem is we need to work together now more than ever as we approach over the coming years that 40-degree mark. Now is not the time to give up on an observatory, and I really feel like, honestly, guys, I feel sorry for those people that are just on their own supporting this observatory. I feel like ringing the bell is the honest thing. I'm not one to give up, and that. I dedicated 2 years of my life writing programs for the Trimax system that right now is recording all that data on the magnetic North Pole right now every 3 seconds. But I really feel like in this 7-mile run I want to pull over and walk back home. It's just the way I feel right now. And it's not just this observatory that's getting slaughtered. All the other well-needed courses are as well, and I really feel for them as well. Maverickstar cancer charity is suffering. They've lost millions of pounds worth of support that enables a person that has got a very short space of time left on this earth to have some dignity and some quality of life in one of their homes. This is just one of the charities, as there is many more. And guys, there really is a lot of topics I want to touch on, which obviously I hate to mention it, because it frustrates me, this coronavirus does, and the legislation that's coming out, making us all wear face masks in shops. Yeah, if you go in a restaurant, you can not wear a face mask. It's common sense. You can't put food in your mouth if you've got a mask on. But what is the difference if we're in a bar or we're in a shop? What's the difference? It's just ridiculous. The government say that they're relying on the science, but really, are they not really comparing what they're asking people to do with other scenarios? It's just ridiculous. At the end of the day, this isn't an Ebola pandemic, where it has been contained. This has got out of control, and there really is only one solution to this problem now. And you probably won't like me hearing you telling you this, but at the end of the day, you've got to let it run through herd immunity. And the British government did acknowledge this at the first, but then they went into was seen as not acting, so we need to do something. So no one really is the expert on a pandemic now that is going round the world. But in the end of the day, I went out to the shops pretty much like you guys are, and we're seeing a lot of the shops locked up, bankrupt as a result of what's happened, because people are frightened to go out, and people are losing their livelihoods, their jobs, and more people are finding themselves now relying on government handouts to survive. And getting back to the irony of the these cancer charities that are not getting the support right now is like I say, ironic, because we are facing a time where our magnetosphere is weakening. We're in a grand solar minimum, so the heliosphere has weakened, which is allowing more galactic radiation into our solar system, and then we're getting more radiation into our atmosphere, and as a result cancer rates will start to increase, and there will not be the Mercury cancer charities there for people that will inevitably get cancer as a result of those two coincided problems that we're facing, with the heliosphere being reduced to a low output of solar activity, and the weakening of the magnetosphere. We're very close, and as a result of that, we are losing the support, and I just hope that it doesn't come a point in time where I've got to resort to the plan B, and that is asking the government for some form of emergency bailout. Guys, it's a small observatory that we've got, but it packs an almighty punch. It really does. We come out with information before NASA and the European Space Agency. I'm probably, as you know, I am the guy in the elevator, the guy who's taking the keys and parking your car up. I'm the guy who's cooking your meal in this hotel every night. It's like me all the time. I'm running around like a chicken. It's crazy, but I just don't want it to come to an end, especially at a point where it's more needed than ever. And this is what seems to be the case now, more and more, isn't it? Just when you need that service, it extinguishes. And I'm really hoping that that's not the case. We set out a simple task, of hoping that, more than a few people that you can count on your hand would come forward and support us in improving the situation with making the content of these videos. And I know it's a big problem for a lot of people. It's just, you're looking at this screen instead of a live broadcast, which would be more interesting with data that you can see and relate to live, and I could present it in a lot better way, but just simply haven't got the means to do it. It is, when I look back and think about it, a miracle we've been able to get where we are right now. And the only reason for that is we've had some real superstar people take on the equipment that we've sent out around the world. As far as I know, we've still got a problem with one of our magnetometers in customs in Canada, and I'm only hoping that within the next few weeks we get that, because we really need to observe what's going on over Canada, because that intensity, that magnetic intensity of Canada is reducing, in my view, rapidly, and there will be noticeable changes in the data that we receive every month from that location. But we've got superstars all over the world on the east and west coast of Australia. Jeff, Richard, we've got in Hong Kong Tony, our superstar pilot, female pilot. Yes, guys, eat your heart out. We have got some really special people, not forgetting Scott in Arizona. So, where we are right now with equipment pretty much all around the world, and still sending more equipment out, we are nowhere near finished in our duty and our line of work. We've got a lot more to cover. And like I said, we're not reaching equilibrium. I mentioned this in a lot of the videos. It's important for you guys to understand what that means. Is that, if we fell off a cliff, the bottom of the cliff where we hit the ground would be equilibrium, and if we was to bounce back up to the height of the cliff, that would be the other half of what we've got to get some form of normality. We are still falling, guys. We haven't hit the bottom yet. Clearly, the grand solar minimum isn't over, and we haven't gone through a magnetic reversal, so there's a lot worse to come. As a result, more cardiac arrhythmias affecting people, more cancer affecting people, and not just people, but all biodiversity on this planet. And we still don't know a few questions that need to be answered. Are we looking at an excursion where the poles almost go for a reversal but don't quite? Are we looking at a completed reversal where the magnetosphere at equilibrium falls to zero or close to that point? And how long does that last? how many people suffer cosmic radiation and therefore get cancer or end up having illnesses as a result of that, and all the other biodiversity. And then the third, which is the worst case scenario, is does it just diminish? And there's no reversal, there's no excursion, and the magnetosphere does not come back up as a result of possibly solidification in the core that generates the magneto, that in turn generates the protected shield that we experience right now, the magnetosphere. If that's the case, we're on a course for what happened in our neighbouring solar system. I'm talking about Mars. We have seen this happen to a planet already. There's the importance of this. That's why, we've got a contingency plan here at the observatory. We will ask, at the last step or the last breath, we will ask for government assistance. And, I don't know where that will go. I really don't. I know the worth of this observatory and what we do. I know the data that we gather is important. We've got archives going back over 2 years of every 3 seconds collecting information on this. We are recording it more closely than any other big organisation. I'm talking about you guys at NASA are not recording it at the same resolution that we are right now. I will call you out at the European Space Agency and say you are not recording it at the same resolution as what we are right now. And you guys have had money to do whatever you want with. We've had the scrapings of the barrel, and we've achieved more than you, so you should be ashamed of what you have produced for the public people, because we have given an accurate account of what has been taking place over this period of time since we've been monitoring it. Simple as that. We had a double smack this year, guys, because we was planning on taking 20 people out in this local community here. We was going to get something started. There was a couple of projects that we've had to cancel as a result of what's going on. And the saddest thing is that we'd got the grant of £8,000 and we had to inform that organisation, which I can't mention, that we couldn't take the money because simply every dynamic had changed, and that those vulnerable people in the community were not going to be able to benefit from that because the prices had just simply changed. People felt that there was at risk, and everything had changed. We just had to give it them back and say we can't do it. Maybe next year might be a better environment that we face, and we can offer those vulnerable people that opportunity to have that introduction into science and things like that. It's sad because we could have quite easily utilised that money if it had been that way, where they'd just give us the money and said, well, if you can't use it for that, use it for something else. It would have been great, because that would have been the money to make these videos and improve the content of this YouTube channel. But they were specific that it had to be spent on the the proposal, and there was no way of making that proposal work because of the dynamics had changed as a result of COVID-19. So we've sadly let 20 people down that was going to benefit from that. Just seems to be the way at the moment. Like I say, I don't want to be one of those people that have to ring the bell before completing the task, and I certainly hope that isn't the case. I'm still waiting for some guardian angels out there to step forward and back the observatory up, because right now we need it, and we don't want to end up like one of the shops that I seen over the weekend with the shutters down saying sorry, we've had to close. I really don't want to do that, because we're at a point in time now where I think this is more needed than anything else. So there are a few options, guys, but really right now we are dead in the water, as an analogy. There is no wind for the sails, so we're just waiting and hoping that, you know, we can get some support going for this observatory so we can continue doing what we do. And it really needs to come in the form of not just you know, even though I'm appreciative of people that donate £1, but £1, let's face it, doesn't even buy a coffee these days, does it? And, you know, when you're dealing with, you know, the level of technology that we are at the observatory, you know, we are packing a punch, guys. Like I say, we do pack a massive punch. We use state-of-the-art technology, same as what NASA and the European Space Agency and NOAA use. We use the exact same stuff. The only reason we've been able to pull this off is because I've been able to lend myself to different you know, fields like electronics, programming, you know, science, and, you know, you've just had the benefit of having somebody that can do it. But it's getting to the point where I'm getting tired. You know, I really wanted other people to come in on this with me and help me, you know, but people need, like everybody else do, they need a wage to do that. We just can't do it at the observatory. You know, we're not funded by, you know, rich entrepreneurs or organisations that are private, and we certainly aren't funded by government. You know, we are funded by you guys. So, you know, we really need to do something about that. I'm sorry it's a little bit negative today, but you need to know what sort of situation this observatory is in and what we're facing. Simple as that. It's like, you know, sometimes you don't want to hear the news about, you know, the magnetosphere isn't dropping too much in one location and there's been some fluctuations in another. It's not probably what you want to hear, but it is the way it is, and that's it. You know, it's the honest approach, which is always, in my view, the best. So guys, I'm going to say, you know, there is a link down there if you want to help support us, and tomorrow we'll get into having a look at a few of the things with, like, the muon count here in the UK. We'll get in touch with, hopefully, Jeff, see what sort of information he's got with his muon detector down there in Perth, Australia, and you know, we'll keep, for now, the wheel slowly turning. So again, there's a link down there. We need some support, guys. It's the bottom line, and as always, you know, I wish you all the best. As always, bye for now.